I have the tea. What's up everyone, it's Kyle from Color Expression bringing you another Swatch review and a nail art tutorial. So today's video is really exciting because we're actually sponsored by Holo Taco. Yeah, I just said sponsored by Holo Taco. About a week ago, Holo Taco reached out and said that they wanted to send me their new Tea Cremes collection and collaborate on a YouTube video. So today we're going to swatch the 6 new creams, look at the new gold flake topper, and do some really fun nail art. And Holo Taco's actually been changing it up the last few releases, and the boxes have all been something new and special, so this time we actually get something so cool. It's probably my favorite one. It's actually shaped like a tea tin. We're gonna look at the box more in depth in just a moment, but at the time of recording this, there are still collector's boxes available on the Holo Taco website, so I'm going to link that site down below and put links to everything that I use in today's video down in the description. But don't worry even if the box is sold out, because these 6 creams and gold flake topper are permanent parts of the Holo Taco lineup, so even if they do happen to sell out, they will be restocked in the future. Before we look at the box, if you're new here, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below with the bell so you get notified of any new videos. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up that you definitely don't want to miss out on, but for now, let's take a look at this box. So like I mentioned, this box is reminiscent of a tea tin, which I think is so cute and so unique for Holo Taco. I love the color palette of this one with the gold accents. I just think it's so cool, and you can see, as always, on the back, we still have the shade names, and then all these little tea puns, which I thought were cute, and then just another gold accent on the top. But as we open this thing up, you can see really what makes this one so special. Oh yeah, don't spill the tea. But as we open it up, you can see the 6 creams are playing bodyguard around the gold flake because we have to keep that thing protected. It's gorgeous. I love this box. I think Holo Taco did such a good job. It's so unique, and I'm completely obsessed. If you don't know much about Holo Taco, they are an independent nail polish brand that's based out of the USA. They are vegan and cruelty-free, and their formula is 5-free. I think it's time we finally get to some swatching, but don't forget to stick around afterwards because I'm going to give you a whole tutorial on some collector's box inspired nail art. So as always, we're going to start out our swatches with a base coat, and today we're using the Holo Taco Long Lasting Base. So we're not really going in a rainbow order today, but more like lightest to darkest. So we'll start out with See Y'all Later Chai. This is a cream that definitely lives up to its name of that kind of milky chai tea color. Really, any tea that you put milk in kind of gives off this kind of like beigey, light brown, but it almost has hints of yellow in it too. So it's a really nice cream that I wouldn't necessarily call a nude. I'm sure for some people it would kind of look nude, but I do like the kind of light, just palette cleansing effect of this shade. And so as you can see on this application, I put on 2 coats for this video. That gave me full great opacity. This is in Holo Taco's newer and improved cream formula, which I'm absolutely a fan of. So overall, this was a great polish to work with. Next up, we'll look at Matcha Maker, which is a light sage green color that really, again, is aptly named matcha because totally like a matcha green. I think that just in general, the names of this collection are all so fitting and hilarious. I think, as always, Christine did such a good job with the shade names. You can see too on my application, that first coat coverage is just wow, but we are going to throw in a second one just to get rid of a little bit of patchiness that we had. And again, this is that new formula. I mean, is it new still? It's improved, and it's really good. I find this one so much easier to work with than the original cream formula. You can just move that polish around, get it where you need it to go, and 2-coat opacity, especially for a light color like this, is insanely impressive. Next, we'll look at Butterscotch Hop, which is kind of tripping me up to say, but I think I said it right. This is a marigold yellow polish that is kind of borderline a neon, I would say. The brightness that you get on this finished nail is definitely a standout. Like indoors, outdoors, you are seeing your nails and they're such a pretty yellow color. And something I did find with this one, which is pretty typical for a yellow nail polish, I did like the opacity when I built it up in 3 coats. So of the whole collection, this is the only one that I felt like 3 coats was even remotely necessary. But again, I think on a shorter nail or even just with a slightly different application method, you might find that 2 coats is perfect for you. So I wouldn't be surprised if you find that Butterscotch Hop is a 2-coater on you. But you can see this final nail, we just have such a nice color. It's such a bright kind of fun twist on a fall shade. So I'm really happy that they added this one to their lineup. Now we will look at High Tea Hibiscus, which again, like the last one, almost borders on a kind of neon feel. Like you can see, it's a really beautiful, just magenta nail polish, but there's this undertone of brightness, and I don't know, something about this one, it looks like it's screaming at me, and I mean that in a good way. I think that it's so fun. I think that, again, for a fall color, not what you would expect, and honestly, it works so well, especially a gradient of this one with Butterscotch Hop. Just looks so good. We're going to look at one later, but for now, we're going to talk about how we got perfect 2-coat opacity. Probably could have even gotten away with one, but we're never going to put just one, so we did a second, we put on a top coat, and look at that final manicure. Just absolutely gorgeous. Moving on to something a bit darker and sophisticated, we'll look at I'm Over Brew, which is a burgundy nail polish that really does kind of have this kind of dark and dusky undertone. I think that this one, again, we got great coverage. 2 coats was perfect for me, but something about this color just on the nails, I think it looks so special. It's honestly something that I didn't have in my collection before. I don't think I had any red creams, let alone one that is kind of this dark and almost vampy. It's just, oh, it's so nice. And in some lightings, it could be like a brown, like a red brown. So I think this one is very transformative, very cool, and definitely my favorite from the collection. And then another dark cream is Bring Me the Teal, or as Christine might say, "Man, bring me the teal." Anyway, this one definitely fought with I'm Over Brew to grab my favorite spot from this collection because this is just a really nice dark teal shade. It's not quite like anything I had. I have a few kind of teals like this, but honestly, after using these, I don't know that anything beats the Holo Taco Cream formula, at least for me right now, between the brush, the easy application, even when you have to do cleanup, nothing stains, nothing sticks on your skin. So I'm totally in love with the formula. I'm in love with every single shade that they added with this collection. Like, look at them all together. How freaking gorgeous is this? But now I'm really excited to look at the Gold Flake Taco with you guys. So this is a totally new style of topper for Holo Taco. Last year's anniversary did include a holographic kind of gold flaky top coat, but this is 1000% different than that. This is metallic gold flakes, and there's actually no holo pigment. So you can see I'm gonna apply it actually over each of the 6 creams from this collection, and depending on what base color you put this on, not only does it kind of look a little bit different, like it almost changes the undertone of the gold flake, but also it totally transforms each of these creams, let alone any creams you already have in your collection that you want to put this over, but it totally transforms them. I can't even describe how like special I felt when I had these nails on. This was honestly, swatching all these, I did not want to take them off. Every combo, every look I just thought was so perfect. It's like they designed this whole set to not only pair with the Gold Flake Taco, but all the shades pair so well together. If you pick just 2 of them or even 3 of them, there's always a good combo. So I'm just like overwhelmed with the possibilities. I can't wait to see on social media once people start getting these, all the different combos they come up with, because it's literally endless, and it's only going to become more endless as Holo Taco continues to expand their line, their polishes, their toppers, because if we're getting this new style of topper, who knows what new stuff is on the line. Like, there is so much that they could do, and I know that Christine is so creative that it's probably never gonna end, so I'm just really excited to go on like this big Holo Taco journey with you guys. but we're actually putting the gold flake over that final cream, and then we're gonna look at all of them next to each other, and you can really see, like I just mentioned, it really changes the look of each of these polishes. It's so wild to me what it does, because just look at how cool and different each of those look with the exact same topper. I am blown away. Now it's time for the nail art tutorial, and I am so excited to show you guys how to create this manicure. But first we'll go over our supplies. So I did use some Scotch tape, some nail vinyls in a few different shapes, some chevron, circles, and stripes. Then we have tweezers, some small scissors, then a cleanup brush. I like the flat kind of skinny one, and then also some nail polish remover. So I decided to use my long-lasting base and super glossy taco for this manicure. I chose that base coat instead of a peely because using nail vinyls and a peely base coat, you could rip the nails off early, and I didn't want to do that. So on the left you can see the nail that we're going to design, and I put the steps on screen just so if you wanted to recreate any of these, you could kind of pause, get everything you needed for that nail look, and then kind of play the video and do it along with me. So these are all gonna look a little bit crazy during the process, but I swear in the end they turn out so cool. So we started out with our matcha green, we blobbed on some yellow, topped that with our gold flake taco, and then we put on a glossy top coat and waited for an hour so we could actually put some vinyls on top. For this one I did actually just use 2 pieces of Scotch tape, and what I wanted to do was kind of make like a color block on the top and then an angled one on the bottom, and then we're going to fill in that empty spot with Bring Me the Teal. I think this turned out perfectly. There was like a little bit of lift on the tape. You can see when I pull it up, there's a spot that kind of leaked a little bit, but because we did that top coat and let it dry before we put on that blue, I was easily able to just use a cleanup brush, a little bit of acetone, and I got that off. So in the end, we put on our glossy top coat, and this nail is perfect. And we're gonna take a look in depth at the whole manicure at the end, but for now we're going to move on to nail number 2, which this one did have a little bit of an extra step, but I think in the end the payoff was totally worth it. So we're going to start out with our matcha green and just put on our gold flake, put a top coat on this one, and let that sit for an hour. So now I grabbed my tweezers, and we're going to grab one of these circular nail vinyls that if you don't have these, I'm sure you could go to like an office supply store and grab some of those little like paper binder repair ring things. You know what I'm talking about. They look exactly like this, but those would do the same thing if you don't have these nail vinyls. So definitely give that a shot. If you do that, let me know how it goes in the comments. But we're now gonna grab our burgundy and just fill in that little circle, which super easy. We're just gonna make sure we take that vinyl off while the polish is still wet. We don't want this to dry because that's just gonna rip the red up with it, you know? So now we're gonna take this thin little line of striping tape. Alternatively, you could have top coated that whole thing, let it dry, and then just put tape over the top half of your nail, but I figured this would be way easier, save a little bit of time, and make this nail not so crazy thick in the end. So I put on that pink and pulled off that little piece of striping tape. You can see I got a little bit on my skin, but like I mentioned earlier, these formulas are so easy to remove, and even with this crazy kind of magenta, like a dark kind of color that you would definitely assume would stain your skin, there was no residue left. So I cleaned that up. I grabbed my chevron little vinyl. Once the top coat fully dried, I put that chevron down at the tip of my nail and came in with Bring Me the Teal. I thought that this was a nice contrast against that magenta, and I was totally right. I mean, hello. But then I grabbed that flaky, and I figured this would make the perfect little accent to finish off this nail. So I love how this one turned out. Now for this one, we're going to take it back a step. It's a little bit simpler, so if the last one you were like, oh my god, I can't do that, I think this one is definitely up your alley. We're just going to start out with a nice base of our yellow, and then I was trying to figure out how big the circles were because I didn't want to paint too much burgundy, so I held it above, figured out what I needed to do, and again, grabbed my brush, and like I said, this looks crazy. It looks like I'm just like a lunatic. Like, I don't know what I'm doing with this nail polish. But it's gonna make so much sense in the end. It's all gonna come together and it's totally gonna be worth it. So we're just gonna finish up this step with our gold flake taco and super glossy taco, and then we wait. So grabbing, again, one of those circle vinyls, we're going to put that over the burgundy to protect this little spot of the nail, and I pushed it in with the tweezers against my cuticle just to really make sure there was no space for polish to kind of seep into. And then for this top diagonal part, I just use a piece of Scotch tape, and then with those little scissors, I cut out just a little line so I could make sure that, again, that tape was right up against the cuticle and we weren't going to have any spillage. And then for this one, I kind of underestimated how dark the burgundy was, so I went in with a quick, like, immediate second coat, which left this pink a little bit thicker than I would have liked, so I did kind of brush some of that off before it dried, and it dried down fine. It totally looked great in the end, so I'd say that this one was a success. Onto our fourth look, we're doing another one that has a chevron down at the tip and a circle up towards the cuticle. So this one was just a two-stepper again, so a little bit on the easier side. We're going to start out with a base of our matcha color, and then we're going to blob kind of on the, like, you could just do the whole bottom half of this nail burgundy if you wanted to. I kind of centered it more towards the middle where I knew that chevron was going to go higher up. And then, of course, we're going to cover it with our gold flake and our glossy taco, and then we wait. So once that's fully dry, I'm grabbing one of those chevron vinyls, placing that down at the tip of my nail, and the way that I'm painting this, there's actually going to be red under where the vinyl is, so you'll see in a moment when we start applying the teal, there's a bigger red space than it looks like just down at the end. And then I placed on one of those center circle dots to kind of just have a smaller circle, just some variation. And Bring Me the Teal is such a bold pigmented color that there was absolutely none of that burgundy peeking through under this one. It covered it all right up. This one did such a good job, and I'd say if you're gonna try any of these looks, definitely do one where the last step is one of the darker colors. It's just going to make it easier on you, and the finished product is going to look a little bit better if you don't have kind of other colors showing through. Like if you ended on yellow, you're going to see what's under the yellow. You know what I mean? So now we'll do the final nail, the final look for this video. I want to know which one you guys liked the best. I couldn't pick a favorite because I think that they all turned out so cool and perfectly embody the box that I'm in love with all of them. But we're gonna start out this one with a base of that pink, and then I'm kind of just blobbing on some of this burgundy over on just one side, and I decided to put the gold flake just centered over that blob instead of across the whole nail, just to change it up. You know, we gotta do something different. So now I'm just gonna grab some Scotch tape once that top coat fully dried, put that over one half of the nail, and then I'm putting the circle over that burgundy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our matcha nail polish and kind of fill in the, like, that middle area. So again, gotta cut that cuticle tape, gotta make sure that we get it all nice and stuck down. But now we're going to come in with our green, and surprisingly, this one totally covered up the pink, the red. I was kind of in shock at how good this light green covered up those dark shades. Like, look at this. This is immaculate. So I guess maybe yellow is the only risky one because this other lighter color did perfect over the darkers. I just can't even believe it. I'm blown away. It's not surprising that Holo Taco made yet again an amazing product, but here we are finishing that nail up, and now we're gonna look at the final manicure. So we are going to take a look at it in its glossy form before I put the matte top coat on, but you know that we had to put the matte on because the box was matte. It makes it look exactly like the box, but even glossy, I still loved this look. I'm so obsessed with it. But now we're going to grab that matte top coat and look at how this transforms. You can see the box in the bag for comparison. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I can't believe that this is on my fingers. I never want to take it off. Thank God I didn't use peelers because I don't want to lose these nails any sooner than I have to. I am obsessed. And then if intense nail art isn't quite your thing, I did this little gradient using all the shades that I thought turned out so cute. Again, gold flaky, just does something to it and makes it perfect. So I call this one a win too. Let me know in a comment down below how I did on this nail art look. Do you think that I embodied the feel of the collector's box, or is there anything you would have done differently? Of course, I want to hear your thoughts on the 6 new cream shades we got and that gold flake topper, because totally new to Holo Taco and I'm completely obsessed with it. Before I wrap up today's video, I just want to send such a genuine thanks out there to every viewer and subscriber. Without you guys, things like this video would not be possible, so I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. But that's going to be it for today. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. I had such a joy bringing this video to you guys. It was such a joy. I had such a joy. And for supporting the channel, because I have makeup on, I'm not gonna cry. Need some tea.